Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for today's class. Today we are going to look into the US and European Pharmacopeia standards. Now let's go back to the Pharmacopeia standards and manufacturing process. We know that we are making some products, like here we are having a manufacturing process where we start from dispensing, going through the granulation of the compound, the solid, for example, drying of the compound, and then milling it, mixing this with some excipients, and then to do the compression in order for having, for example, capsules in the format of capsules. And then those capsules are going to be again poured into a coating machine where we are going to see a circular, for example, it depends on the type of capsules, but usually we have again the capsules that are in a type of cylinder which is turning, and while it's turning you also have a diffuser of the coating that is going to spray the coating on the capsules that are turning in that cylinder, which is turning as well. So, of course, after some type of process, it may be heating, it may be just aeration, for example, we're going to find the final product, which is a coated capsule. So this is, in a nutshell, the manufacturing process. But now, how we are going to make sure that the drug that we made is exactly the drug that we are again saying that we made it. So for this, we will need, of course, to use different pharmacopoeia standards in order to test the quality, of course, and of the product. This is why we always talk about different pharmacopoeia, such as USP, Japanese Pharmacopeia, European Pharmacopeia, British Pharmacopeia, etc. And of course, Chinese Pharmacopeia as well. Now here we talk about the typical pharmaceutical manufacturing operations. So if we are making liquids, of course we have to go through the dispensing, mixing, filtration, CCS filling, and packaging. If you're looking into the solid orals, tablets, or capsules, we talk about dispensing, blending, dosage formulation, compression or filling, coating, polishing, and then packaging. If we talk about the drug device like nasal sprays, nebulizers, we talk about dispensing, mixing, device filling, device assembly, packaging, or when we talk about biological or device products, we talk about manufacturing of API, filtration, drug product manufacturing, and filling, and to finish the product. So these are all different manufacturing operations. Now each of these operations, of course, they are, first of all, they have standards, they have equipments, they must be, validated, the equipments, they must have procedures, people must be trained on those, they must be cleaned, we have procedures and regulations for cleaning and sanitation as well. We also have, different regulations for the maintenance of these equipments as well. And obviously, the process itself is also documented so that we know that through the standard operating procedures and through the batch control activities, we'll be able to document the fact that a product has been following the proper manufacturing operation, and that the final product that we are getting did pass the tests based on the UPS standards or pharmacopoeia standards in any country where, this applies. Now let's talk about the pharmacopoeia itself, and we're going to start talking about US pharmacopoeia. So pharmacopoeia contains direction for the identification of compounds and published by the authority of a government or a medical or pharmaceutical society. So descriptions of preparations are called monographs. So it also describes the preparation of different molecules. So in a broader sense, it is a reference work for pharmaceutical drug specifications. And of course, we have different kinds of pharmacopoeia: US, Europe, British, Japan, China, etc. Now, let's talk about the monographs. The USP, or United States Pharmacopeia slash or hyphen NF, which is National Formulary, is a combination of two official compendia, the United States and National Formulary. So monographs for drug substances and preparations are featured in the USP. Now, excipients are in the National Formulary. Now, monographs include the name of the ingredient or preparation, the definition, packaging, storage, and labeling requirements and specifications. Now, the specifications consist of a series of tests, procedures for the tests, and acceptance criteria. And these tests and procedures require the use of official USP reference standards. Now, medicinal ingredients and products will have the stipulated strength, quality, and purity if they conform to the requirements of the monograph and relevant general chapters. Now, what's the mission of US Pharmacopeia? The mission is to improve global health through public standards and related programs that help ensure the quality, safety, and benefit of medicines and foods. Their vision is, again, a world in which all have access to high quality, safe, and beneficial medicines and foods. And the resolutions is about USP's volunteer convention members meet once every 5 years to discuss, vote upon, and adopt a set of resolutions. So we understand that these are all volunteers, and this is going to allow us to understand the next slides. So USP is an organization, and it has bylaws as well. It has volunteers working for it, in it, about hundreds of volunteers, 900, 800, and then they have different articles. So the articles or the bylaws, these are the laws of this organization, are the following. So you have Article 1, name and principal office. You have the Article 2, the purposes, so membership, officers, etc. You have Article 5, this is the Board of Trustees, and it will continue up down to committees and board articles, conflict of interest and compensation, council of the convention, governance committees, etc. Now, as I already mentioned, we have volunteers in USP, because USP is a scientific, non-for-profit organization in the USA. So it does identify, again, and the strength, of course, quality and purity of medicines, food ingredients, and dietary supplements. So it's not a government entity, but they work closely with the FDA. So USP's drug standards are enforceable in the United States by FDA, and these standards are enforceable, of course, are used, of course, in other countries, but they are enforceable by the regulatory authorities in each country as well. Now, US Pharmacopeia was founded in 1800, so 1820, and it helped to ensure quality of the American drug supply. Now today, USP is working with scientists, practitioners, regulators of many nations to develop standards that protect public health. Now, activities, we already talked about those. I just want to add the fact that, yes, it has a governance, and it's governed by the convention membership, the board of trustees, as we saw in the bylaw in the 2 slides ago before, and the council of experts and its expert committee who are all volunteers, and they meet every 5 years. Now they also have an executive team that helps manage all USP operations at its 5 international locations. Now, talking about USP and FDA, USP was recognized in the 1906 Pure Food and Drugs Act, and it was an official compendium providing the basis of the predecessors of FDA to deem a drug adulterated. So in 1938, when we had the Federal Food and Drugs and Cosmetics Act, It expanded the role of USP. A drug with a name recognized in USP must comply with compendial identity standards or be deemed adulterated or misbranded or both. So we understand that under the Food and Drugs and Cosmetic Act, or FDCA, a drug is misbranded if it purports to be a drug the name of which is recognized in an official compendium such as USP. It can also be European, again, Pharmacopeia, unless it is packaged and labeled as prescribed therein. Now here we can talk about what USP and what FDA does separately. Now we see that they are working together. So FDA promotes the public health by reviewing clinical research and taking appropriate action on the marketing of regulated products, ensures the safety and effectiveness of human and veterinary drugs, etc. It enforces good X practices like current good manufacturing practice, current good clinical practice, but now USP, it sets standards for the identity of medicines, food, and dietary supplements for their quality, purity, and strength. Now, it provides standards enforced by FDA under the Food and Drugs and Cosmetic Act. And of course, it helps manufacturers to meet good manufacturing practice through voluntary inspections. So it verifies products that pass USP verification requirements. Now, in summary, FDA enforces USP NF standards. Its staff act as liaison to USP Standard Committee. FDA can request USP to develop or modify standards. FDA can comment on USP proposed standards. Their staff can speak and participate in USP scientific meetings. And one of the important things is that USP staff have supported FDA, participating as appropriate on FDA advisory committees and of course at other public meetings. Now we have several USP chapters. So for example, we have general chapter, again 1116, which is related to microbiological control and monitoring of aseptic or aseptic processing environment. So these are different chapters that we can have. They start after number 1000. Now let's talk about European Pharmacopeia. Very similar to the United States Pharmacopeia. This is Europe's legal and scientific benchmark for pharmacopoeial standards, which contribute to delivering high quality medicines in Europe. So the Pharmacopeia of Europe is applicable in European countries and used in over 100 countries worldwide as well. We have different editions, of course, for again the European Pharmacopeia, and this will be again updated up to 2025. Now, their mission, very similar to again USP, is to promote public health by the provision of recognized common standards for the quality of medicines and their components. So such standards are to be appropriate as a basis for the safe use of medicines by patients. Now, again, European Pharmacopeia monograph and other texts are designed to be appropriate to the needs of the regulatory authorities and those engaged in the quality control of medicinal products and their constituents and manufacturers of medicinal products and their individual components. Now, we have several legal texts that make the European Pharmacopeia mandatory as well, so very similar to the US. So we have the convention, again, developed by the Council of Europe on the elaboration of, of the European Pharmacopeia. It was adopted, of course, in 1994 and amending the convention to prepare for the accession of the European Union and defining the respective powers of the European Union and its member states. Now we also have British Pharmacopeia, Again, the European Union Pharmacopeia Commission is responsible for the publication of the Pharmacopeia Europa. The UK is a member of the, again, EP Commission and is involved at all stages of European Pharmacopeia monograph development. Now we also have a Chinese Pharmacopeia, Japanese Pharmacopeia, and we have several countries that are, again, they did set the standards in order to test for the integrity and the quality of the medicinal products that we didn't cover, of course, today. But it was just today, again, we just wanted to go over, again, the definition and, of course, to explain what was pharmacopoeia. And, of course, we started to talk about the USP, or United States Pharmacopeia. I hope that you enjoyed the content of this short lecture, but it was mainly for, again, being used as an introduction to, again, what is pharmacopoeia. Thank you so much.